102.7 FM, this is the Bryce is Right. You are listening to Bryce McEwen. With joining me across the panels is the lovely, the incredible, I can't quite put my finger on it, but he smells like the sweet aroma of eucalyptus mixed with giraffe. It's Mr. Jeremy Conaghan.
Giraffe, eh?
Well, they have a very sweet scent. Like, not many people know this, but early in the 19th century, giraffes were actually hunted for their scent.
Really?
Yes. Like, what happens is, if you'd have to climb to the top of the tallest tree,
Okay.
and hunters would sit on top of that tree for nearly 6-7 days doing the actual giraffe call.
Okay, how's that go?
It sounds like... No. It's not a laughing matter.
Okay, I'm sorry. Unprofessional of me.
It sounds like... And it's a mix of that for about 16 months.
Okay,
And
16 months?
16 months. They would do that for 16 months. And then the giraffe would eventually come over, eat the leaves, and at that point, they'd say, fire! And if the people who were waiting there with the net gun had still had enough patience, like 16 months, it's a long time, would fire the net out. And the giraffe would be like, ah! Whatever giraffe sounds are. Despite just making them.
You seem to be an expert on this.
Well, I don't. Let's just say David Attenborough learnt all he did from me.
Really?
As well as how to pace your monologues. As in, David Attenborough here, coming at you from the Amazonian desert.
There's an Amazonian desert.
Why not?
Okay.
In David Attenborough's world, anything is possible.
It's true.
But yes.
Now, if I was David Attenborough, I'd just make it up. I'm certain he is half the time. He's just, I'm here in the Sahara Desert with the striped ocelot.
Yeah. Like, I've never heard of an ocelot, let alone a striped one, buddy.
I don't know where an ocelot actually lives, but I think
the striped desert.
he sounds elegant enough that he would have chosen somewhere better than the Sahara Desert.
He says it with such sincerity and such conviction behind his words. Like, I almost want there to be a striped ocelot to live.
Ocelots are a real thing.
What are they?
I'm not sure, but they have spots, and I think they've got furry...
The striped ocelot has spots.
Yes. The striped ocelot isn't a real thing, the ocelot is, though.
Now you're making up stories.
Look it
You've
up.
lost all credibility. Somebody get him out of here!
Just bear with me. here.
Old British man. You know who's another old British man I really love? Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee. Actually, news on the Christopher Lee.
Oh, yes.
I mean, obviously he's best known for his work in Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
Of course, which I believe there's going to be a discussion about later.
Yes, yes.
New
evidence will come to light.
Obviously, he was Saruman, the bad guy, I suppose.
Sort of like, the middle tier bad guy of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
The thing is, interesting factoid before you get onto about him, when he started off acting, because he was obviously Dracula and a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah.
When he started off acting, he really wanted to be Gandalf the Grey one day. And one of this is when casting came around for Lord of the Rings, he was too old.
Like, no, you're too evil.
Yeah, he's too, well, they just said he's too old for all the physical stuff. Oh, he's too evil, too, because you ever met the man? I went to shake his hand one day and he just slapped me across the face. I'm like, that's evil. But anyway, and so they gave him the next best thing, which was Saruman.
In his defense, he was in a bathhouse when you tried to do that.
It was in a bathhouse and I wasn't wearing any clothes. Like if someone comes up to me with one hand out and they're stark naked, I'm going to slap them across the face too.
Yeah, you should have thought it. You should have thought that through.
I should have, but then at the same time, it's a bathhouse. It would look more weird if I were.
Yeah, if you were in like a full suit.
Full suit. Like, yes, where's the bath? I'm doing up my tie.
Cummerbund and all.
I would leave the bow tie on at all times.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Even like I'm sitting in like the bath.
Yeah, okay. Are you going to have one of those clip-on collars too? So
like a clip-on collar.
So it looks like you've got a collar and a bow tie.
The cuffs.
The cuffs. Still the cuffs? Cufflink?
And I like to leave my socks on at all times.
Silver or gold cufflinks? That's what I'm wondering. I'm picturing you as a silver man.
I'm a silver man.
Yeah, me too.
Silver man.
Excellent. We're digressing.
Yeah. Christopher Lee. Tell me what's happening with Christopher Lee.
Well, you were talking about Christopher Lee being too old to be Gandalf.
Too old to be Gandalf, so they gave him Saruman.
Yeah, well, that seems like a very close second.
Well, that's, in the Lord of the Rings universe, the next best thing to Gandalf
I suppose it's like being tied, but like no, you can't be the good guy, so we're going to make you the bad guy for this.
I think
you're still a pivotal role in this.
Oh, no doubt. Cause
anyway, in true Lord of the Rings fashion, and this sort of, I suppose, Lord of the Rings is one of those things that it's sort of, I'm rhyming now, it's terrible.
It's inspired.
Lord of the Rings is one of those things. Ring a ding ding.
It's inspired.
We had a fling.
We had a fling. We did. Are we
You're full of
announcing this on air now, Bryce?
Yes, we are.
Okay, well, well, it's public.
I told you Frodo had one ring.
and you took it totally the wrong way.
Look, maybe we should just go for pizza after this cover.
Yeah, pizza.
But yeah,
Take a look at
he's
your rolling
decided,
pin.
in the tradition of, like, I've heard so many heavy metal songs about orcs and dragons.
Yeah.
I don't know if there were dragons in Lord of the Rings, but there are now.
In The Hobbit there is, yeah.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. I actually haven't read The Hobbit. No, it hasn't come out as a movie yet.
No, coming out at the end of the year, part 1.
Excellent, brilliant. But it's...
We digress again.
We digress again, but now you know. Now you know, listeners.
It's like The Hobbit will be it'll be Game of Thrones, except good.
I'm not going to go there. I know that there
you're
are,
on your own with that one.
I know that there are people out there listening who will criticise me if I say bad things about Game of Thrones. So it's like,
is that your family?
No.
I don't care what they think.
Exactly, yeah. But he's decided to follow that vein of all these people writing heavy metal songs about orcs and Dungeons and Dragons and all the roar. He's releasing at, how old is he now?
He'd be 80, nearly 90.
Nearly 90. He's releasing an experimental progressive heavy metal album.
Christopher Lee. Can you picture Christopher Lee headbanging on stage?
Yes, that's the thing. It's like you see his hair and his beard in Lord of the Rings and tell me he doesn't look like every Swedish heavy metal frontman from the last 10 years.
You're dead correct.
Yeah.
Robes and all.
Yeah,
even the staff.
That's it. And like there are bands out there that gimmick like wizard costumes. I don't think he's going to gimmick it. I think he's just...
He is. He doesn't need to gimmick it.
Exactly. He's the real deal. No longer do you have to see frauds. You can go on and see the real deal.
Is there any...
The White Wizard, if it was that correct?
The White Wizard. You could call... That's his name. That's his stage name.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming all the way from England and nearly beyond the grave, the White Wizard!
Probably he's not going to approve of Beyond the Grave.
Maybe. I think he'll like it. Okay, even though he slapped on the face, he seemed like a cool guy.
But that slap, that was a warm slap, I felt.
It was a warm slap of, how are you going?
It was...
Haven't seen you in a while. Slap.
Haven't seen you ever, particularly not this little clothing.
Because he slapped me on the face, and then as I was walking away, he slapped me on the tush.
Brilliant.
Is there, just out of curiosity, is there any metal bands with like older people in it, or is metal more of a young middle-aged man's game?
Well, I mean, you only have to look at Metallica. All those guys are starting to sort of move on. Like metal has sort of...
still got middle-aged, but there's no like elderly.
Well, they're heading towards. Well, I suppose middle-aged. Like they're in their 50s, but I can only imagine Ozzy Osbourne. What's he? He must be 60s or 70s now.
Yeah. So, I guess all the Rolling Stones too.
Yeah, I mean, well, Rolling Stones, whether you call them metal or not. But the fact
not metal, but yeah, I know
metal.
what you're saying,
Metal is one of those genres that was coined like back in the 70s and 80s, and
it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
But that's it. It's getting bigger and louder and heavier. So a lot of the old bands that were credited as metal aren't credited that way anymore. But
they're more like just hard rock.
Yeah, like people would call Ozzy hard rock now, but back in his day, he was the heaviest of the metal.
Well, the thing is, you look at even 20 years before that, Elvis.
Oh yeah,
Devil's music.
Absolutely.
And where these days it's like elevator music now.
Yes. But so there's got to be
level 2.
Even even if there aren't the massive levels of success that they once enjoyed, there's got to be still guys who are performing at near that age, like in their 70s and 80s, who are still performing heavy metal.
I'd like to think so.
I'd like to think so too.
It's 102.7 FM. This is The Bryce is Right. You're listening to Bryce and Jeremy.